All right, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Today, a little different book review. So, I started reading books again, and me and the wife made a pledge. We start reading at night together, and I definitely fell in love with this book again. I've loved Blade Runner, and if you don't know, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is supposed to be the precursor for um, Blade Runner. It's actually supposed to be what inspires the movie and everything, too. Um, Spoilers if you don't want to know about it, if you don't want to hear about it, if you don't want to hear a comparison, then don't watch it or don't listen to the rest of this. Um, I'll say this first, but the book's very good, sci-fi. Some of the stuff makes sense, some of the stuff doesn't make sense. Some of the words are funny, some of the words aren't funny. It's a little different, but I'm gonna get into it now. I'm gonna describe the book, and then I'm gonna go against the movie and see how and tell you how the movie was. So in this book, they talk about a lot from the very beginning till the end about false animals and how they're synthetic and all this other stuff. They make them at the very beginning. You hear how they all want to have the animals, real life animals, blah blah blah. They go through it, and they also talk about mercerism. In the movies, they don't really go through mercerism very much. Um, the book is heavily on mercerism. They have a device where they put their two hands on, they grip it, they put it inside their empathy. They're inside the empathy box, and everyone in the world has TVs. Busters is the biggest thing inside the movie or inside the book, and then when you watch the movie, it's not the same at all. If you read the book, do not expect Blade Runner the movie to be anything like it. So there are some similarities. Rick Deckard is there. Um, Bryant is there. There are definitely a few correlations. You can tell how they get there. Bounty hunting is there. Rachel's there. But the storyline is very different. So in the book, you start off with knowing the world has been kind of destroyed. There's been off-planet colonies in Mars and other places, but then the ones that are left on Earth are the ones who either for some reason didn't want to immigrate, the ones who couldn't pass an IQ test, just the bottom of the barrel people. The movie doesn't start off like that at all. It kind of seems like it's just the Earth. They're bounty hunting on the Earth from androids that have escaped. I mean, they kind of give you a little summary at the very beginning, but it's not very known like in the book. In the book, they kind of say how everything's in shambles, everything's rotting and decaying. As you go through it, you can tell basically the Earth is kind of being left to die. They're not really doing anything to it. They're caring more about off-world colonies and everything. They don't really go into the book like what the androids are doing on the other planets, but in the movie they kind of do. So the androids are basically slaves off world, and it's kind of weird too. They in the book that's called the Rosen Corporation, but in the movie they call it Tyrell. I don't know why they had the name changed in the movie. I don't know why that was a need to change the name, but they could have just stuck with the Rosens, and it would have made more sense. People like me who've read the book and watched the movie. I did it backwards though. I watched the movie first, years and years and years and years ago, and then I read the book, and then I watched the movie again just to compare and contrast. Some of the stuff's very different. Like Luba, she's not an opera singer, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they went so off, and they went to like some dancer with an exotic snake, and that wasn't how it was. She was supposed to be like this glamorous woman who loved opera and all this other kind of stuff. Some of the other people too were not very good. Just you can tell the difference when you read the book and how the imagination is, and mercerism and all this other stuff is inside there that is definitely needed in a good movie. So I think going back through it, if they redid it or remade it, it's kind of like Dune in a way for me. Dune was a very good book. I think the movies are very good too, actually. The movies for Dune, or the movie so far for Dune, has been great. The books have written even better, but I do think that these authors and these screenwriters should stick closer to what the books are. He retires the androids in this book in a very different way than he goes about retiring them in the movie. I mean, he does the test still, and it's the same kind of thing. Of course, it's old. It's old as hell, so it's all janky and clunky seeming. But they could go with a remake of it instead of doing like the new Blade Runner like they currently have, 2042, which is very very good. I recommend anyone who watches it. But if you watch the old Blade Runner and read the book, there's going to be a stark difference. Also, recommendations. I did not know that public libraries give you free access to online catalogs of books and Audible books too. You can listen to audio, some of them are on there, but then there's tons that you can just actually read on your phone. I don't like to read on my phone. I like to have the actual book because I get so distracted with the phone. We've been doing it now for a little while. We put the phones down at night together, where we read. We try to structure more of our family time together with my daughter and stuff. We don't ever use tablets or phones or anything, especially with her. No TV either. But yeah, read the book. The book is really good. It's definitely. I wish there was a modern. So here's what I really want to, and this is me just being a nerd. I really want some modern day sci-fi, like depicting on what we think 2100 will be like and how we think it would be. Because right now, a lot of the books kind of stop at like 2022, like 2025, 2021, and all that kind of stuff. And we know how far off they all are. We're very advanced technology wise when it comes to how we were back then, but we're nowhere near hover cars flying around the world. I mean, we do, of course, could have kind of hover cars, but it's nowhere like it was going to be in the Jetsons. It's no longer like it was going to be in these books where there's hover cars flying from roof to roof, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, in this book, they definitely play a role on how everyone, including Rick Deckard, goes into it. Also, one thing I did not like, Isidore. He in the book he's a chicken head, and in the movie he's slow, a little bit slow, but also different. So in the book he is a veterinarian to electric sheep, or to not electric, to electric animals. So they repair electric animals and do all that kind of stuff. But in the movie, it's not like that. In the movie, he's like some slow or special, as they say, person, but he's also like a tinkerer of all these toys and all these little tiny people in the movie. And it's very, very different because in the book, they don't have any kind of, I don't know how you say it, they don't have him as this person that's smart enough to fix anything. He's smart enough to just basically check it out. And in the book, he couldn't even tell the difference between a false cat and a real cat because the cat died in the hover car that he picked up, bringing it back to the hospital. So I do think they went really far off. I do think there are some similarities, and I really do think the book highlights a better desolate world because this is supposed to be in 2021, and it's very far off. I guess in the 60s, or I think he wrote this in 1928. So I guess back then they would have thought that that could have been happening. I mean, I guess there are some flying hover cars and there are some hover things, but those are very loud with blades, and it's very annoying. Not like you would think in the movies where it's like, but yeah, I would say go get your book. Go to your local library. Get the books there free. Most of them have passes online where you can get like Libby or Huddle, and you can get books online for free there as well. Some have Audible books too that you can get. But your local library is still good. Take your kids there, put your phone down, get some time to read. We're gonna start doing that all the time. I'm starting my second book tonight, of course, after another movie that I've watched, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I will do a compare and contrast like this again, just because I kind of like doing it. Even if no one pays attention, no one likes these. It is what it is. But kind of just for my own self to see how many books I've read, where I'm at, and what I'm doing. So that's going to be kind of my journey with you guys or whoever pays attention. If no one cares, then it's just going to be with me and random internet and bots. But so far, this book is pretty cool. Thought it was really different than what I would be normally reading. 'Cause I'm an IT guy, so but I mean, of course, IT guys love fiction and science fiction. So but yeah, I would say stop by your local library if you want something unique or something different that you want to read, and not some kind of like sci-fi, I'd say like Harry Potter type novel. This is good. I do hear that there are three others that follow the Blade Runner series more closely. I will get those and I will try those out. If I have to buy them myself personally, I will too. Then I will. There's also another book that I'm going to be reading from the same author, and it's called The Scanner Darkly. So it's Philip K. Dick. So Philip K. Dick is the author, and A Scanner Darkly is going to be another one. As you see in the back of his book, they have a whole list of other ones. So they have Confessions of a Crap Artist, The Game Player of Titan, The Man in the High Castle, A Scanner Darkly, which is what I'm going to read. The Three Stigma of Palmer Eldritch. The Transmigma of Timothy Archer. Ubik, which is another one I want to read. And Vials. So go ahead and check this book out. If there's anyone who wants to talk about it or anything, if anyone even gives a shit, message me in the comments, say something about the book compared to the movie. The movie also paints these people as being crazy androids too. I mean, they are killers and they are weird. In the book, she cuts off a spider's legs just to see what it would do. So I guess the movie kind of makes a little bit of sense on how they're these punkish things, but you have to also remember this was the 80s. This is how they saw things, so it's a little different. But yeah, guys, just wanted to share. Go read the book. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Pretty novel idea. You get to read about Mercerism too, and see how they have the empathy machines and all this kind of stuff. They like plug in. They have fusion and everything too, where you can fuse with people. Rick Deckard also fuses with Mercer himself, who they find out it's fake. So yeah, guys, go ahead and read it. And if anyone actually cares, put some comments down there, and then I'll do more of these just for myself, if not anybody else. So thanks, guys.